Well, I never really considered myself or advertised myself as a psychic medium or anything like that, although I suppose I advertise as an intuitive healer because to me I just feel that it covers all bases. But yeah, I suppose if we break it all down, then yes, I would be classed as a medium, clairvoyant, clairaudient. The messages come through to me however way they're meant to come through. So it will be feeling, vision, hearing, as well as via dreams. So a lot of times when people make appointments with me, I start to get information. And if I've got a really busy week, sometimes I'm not really sure exactly who the messages are for or the dreams that come through. But as soon as that person, steps through the door, then I know. And there are times where I get information that is quite traumatic for the person. So it could have been a massive trauma that they experienced or went through when they were really young. And that also gives people confirmation so that they know that I know what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. I also believe the reason why this information is there and some of us are a little bit more sensitive and can pick up on it, I believe everyone has psychic abilities without a doubt. But some of us are probably just a little bit more open, a little bit in tune, being very empathetic and an empath, I suppose, and very sensitive ever since I was a little girl, going through my near-death experience as a little girl. I'm sure opened up the pathways there for me. I never really embraced or acknowledged my abilities growing up, although I used to, even back then be able to decipher energy and could see spirit and acknowledge what was going on, and I would have an understanding of future outcomes. I was always very observant of people. I was always fascinated by people's behaviour. And also I couldn't understand the way people behaved most times, the manipulation and the hurt and the way we would hurt and fight with each other. It just never made sense to me. So it wasn't until later on in my life, my late 20s, where I started to really put the pieces together and slowly started to accept a little bit more about my abilities. But even then I still was like, I don't know, so much denial. And even now, like I say to many people, I don't feel I'm any different than anyone else. I just get the information coming through and then I just speak my truth and share what's come through, and and for majority of the times it does resonate, and there hasn't been anyone that has come to see me that hasn't had confirmation and of something that's happened to them or something they secretly feel and think about that no one else knows, and then I bring it up. So it's a very sacred space that I open up for people so that they feel extremely comfortable and confident and knowing that there's absolutely no judgment in their life so far or in their life moving forward. I'm not someone that will sit there and want to give false predictions or block people's avenue of pursuing or experiencing whatever they want in life. I feel the future has way too many variables, and whatever we're interested in and whatever we're excited about and whatever we put focus on, that's what we're going to manifest in our life. I do believe that as human beings, we are a lot more magnificent and intelligent than we've been led to believe. I have witnessed and totally believe that our capabilities in this human body and the way we're made up is just mind-blowing and science fiction. And actually there isn't anything that's made that doesn't translate in some way of how we operate on an inner level. So even when you look at it from that perspective, it's quite interesting. And I suppose the more we start to use our bodies as the biomechanical machines they are, but we're not just machines, we have a lot of feelings and emotions, and there's a lot more that goes on. But I do call it biomechanical machine in the sense that we have extraordinary abilities that we can use. I don't even feel that I use all of it because we have been indoctrinated to believe that we don't have these abilities or powers, but we've all gone through those scenarios where there's been those coincidences, or when the phone rings, we know who's going to be on there, or we think of someone, or we dream of someone, then we see them the next day or a couple of days later. And, I believe that information, everything we think and feel, is sent out into the ether, into the area and the space around you. And people can pick up on it. We're emitters and receivers and transmitters of information and frequency and harmonics, and people who are a little bit more sensitive like myself, we can pick up on it. I mean, there's times where I have dreams of certain things for people or clients that haven't even made an appointment with me yet, and then they do, and then I get the confirmation. So yeah, it's hard to call me, or I don't really like to just call myself one thing, like a medium or psychic or clairvoyant. So I suppose I use intuitive healer in the respect of that, it's a range of information. And then when I do the energetic work, again, it's a bit of reading, it's opening up some of the portals, and I also work with a psychological aspect as well, so that people can start to use their own self-mastery and start to eliminate what they need, so that they can feel a little bit more empowered with themselves and within their lives. So, there's nothing that I have that that is lost from anyone else. So it's up to us if we want to tune in and believe in that part of us. But look, it's a wonderful gift. I feel very honoured to be able to do the work I do, and people that come to see me, if it is for more deeper, psychological issues and feeling better about themselves, if it is more for a healing, usually it's a combination of all those things. So because of those different modalities that I introduce, it does take a little bit longer when people are with me, but they tend to get a lot more out of it, and a lot of information that they can start incorporating for themselves in their day-to-day lives. So, and everyone that does come see me is very strong and very courageous, and we all are very courageous, probably more so than we give ourselves credit for. And we need to start being more proud of ourselves and start listening to our intuition. It is hard with people when they're very sensitive, and they can pick up, a lot of stuff, and people will shy away from that sensitivity. So it's learning to use all of our abilities and all of our even sensitivities to start to live life a little bit better. But it's a wonderful gift that I've been given, and I love the fact that I get to use that as my service to humanity and everybody. And it's not always easy when you're bombarded with information all the time, but I'm always looked after, and I'm just very thankful and grateful for it. It's wonderful, and it's wonderful to assist people in the ways that I have been. So I'm very blessed, and I thank everybody for that.